Welcome back to Cigar Exploration USA. Today we're going to explore this 12-year vintage. This is a Maduro. I have tried the Connecticut. So this is an Epicure. It's just a beautiful looking cigar. I have not had any problems with Perdomo whatsoever. This is one I have not explored. So I'm really looking forward to this. From what I understand, it's aged for, it's bale aged for 10 years. It actually says that here. So there it says barrel aged, and there it says bale aged. Bale aged for 10, and then barrel aged for 2 in used charred white oak bourbon barrels. It says it right there, matured bourbon barrels. So that's pretty great. I mean, the Connecticut I smoked was fantastic. So let's see how this is. Getting dark chocolate, leather, and honestly some oak, some wood. All right, I got this whiskey in a glass. I've tried this one. I've tried the OESO. We're gonna compare these two today, but I got lucky again and got a different one. So this is the OESK. I'll explain the differences between the two. I just wanted to get it in a glass a while so it could air out a little bit. We're gonna put a V-cut on this. This is not a box press cigar, but it is kind of slightly box pressed. And being the big fan I am of V-cuts, I thought, why not just V-cut this thing? I've been doing a lot of straight cuts lately. See the cap on there. So let's get a V-cut on it. We're gonna do it the way I think makes the most sense, which is this direction here. I've had this cigar for a while. I've had this cigar for a few months now. I bought it at Cigar Plus, my local favorite cigar store, for, I can't remember, 12 or 13 bucks. They're not cheap as singles. I mean, they're not cheap if you buy a box, but they're not cheap as singles. Cold draw? Wow, okay. Just fruit. Like red apple skin, obviously tobacco. Pretty amazing. Good draw. Not too tight, but not too open either. Somewhere in the middle. All right, don't waste any more time. Let's get it fired up. I'm gonna toast the end of it. What are you guys drinking? What are you guys smoking today? Every time I have a Perdomo in my hand, I'm excited. For the I'm a pretty big fan of Perdomo and Four Roses, but I feel like I don't drink and smoke them enough. So I thought I'd put two of my favorites together today. I've had this cigar for a while, and I got this bottle a couple weeks ago. Again, just got lucky, walked into my liquor store. Always look at the Four Roses section, and that was just sitting on the shelf. And it's a different one than I ever had. The only other one, it smells like chocolate toast. The only other one that I haven't had of the single barrels now is the OBSF. Those letters really don't mean a whole lot. They really are kind of just inside stuff for Four Roses. I think I explained it in the video that I made on the first bottle. They just designate the type of single barrel it is. So as I said, we're gonna go over that and explain everything and talk about these two whiskeys. As we get this cigar going here. It smells great. It just smells absolutely fantastic. It smells like you want a cigar to smell. All right, and this is the Maduro. I had the Connecticut. Here we go. Oh yeah. Wow, okay. I remember the Connecticut being real smooth and creamy. Kind of nuttiness on that. This is more on the, definitely the dark chocolate coffee. It's rich and strong. Not getting sweetness like I expected. I expected kind of a little more sweetness on here, like that Maduro sweetness, but obviously we just lit it. Leave me a comment. Let me know if you've had these aged 12 years, what you think about them, if you think they're worth it. I haven't had a Perdomo that I didn't think was worth it. Show you guys this V cut. I know it's a little slobbered up, but nice deep V cut, the way it should be, in my opinion. Cigar band's just gorgeous. I used to get fooled by these. I used to think these were 2 cigar bands, but it's just one. It's one giant, big one. Real pretty. I love the gold and black. Red, white, blue, gold, and black. Gorgeous color scheme on there. This leaf is a little bit out of Perdomo's kind of norm. It's a little bumpy. You can see it up here. It's not as smooth as usual. It's just one of the ones that I'm sure passed their inspections, passed the, made the cut, but isn't just the smoothest one I've ever seen. It's got some pretty big veins in it. This one's real big right here. But hey, it's burning great. Not perfectly even, but tastes great. Got a good draw. We're good to go. So while I'm smoking this first inch or so here, each of these, there's 3 of these 4 roses, these special single barrels. So the one I had before, the OESO, it says right on the back. They're not messing around. It says right on the back. It's rich red fruit, vanilla, brown sugar, delicate oak, and this absolutely delivered on that. But I would say most of the single barrels I've had of theirs aren't this special designation. They just are regular single barrels, and they all kind of deliver that same profile. Pretty similar anyway. Brown sugar, vanilla, oak. They say delicate oak, which just means a touch of oak. And then this one, the one we're going to look at today and explore today, the OESK. This one says baking spice, mellow oak, tea leaves, and caramel. So it's possible, and each one of these has a warehouse number and a barrel number. So that one has a warehouse and a barrel. And then, warehouse and a barrel. So it's possible that this one's going to be a little bit more sort of, strong? I don't know how to describe it. This one's probably a little bit more mild. You're talking about tea leaves, mellow oak. This one says delicate oak. I think they're just looking for different words to describe the oak on these things, if I'm being honest. I'm not really sure. Cork hole. Pretty good. I love that cork. The other one's the same, but I haven't opened this one in months, so let's open it up. See what this one sounds like. Okay, not as strong, maybe because there's less fluid, maybe not, I don't know. Same thing, same cork, same setup. It's got a real cork and then this kind of synthetic. It's close to real wood, but I'm pretty sure it's plastic. The cork's real, but then the outside part of this looks like plastic. So yeah, so big fan, single barrel. These have age statements on them as well. These are aged 7 to 9 years. All their single barrels are, even the one I haven't tried. Even the OBSF is a 7 to 9 year age statement. That one, from what I recall, the OBSF, the one I haven't tried, is like vanilla chocolate, apples and rye is their flavor, sort of how they describe it on the back, like these, their flavor notes. So let's put our nose in it and just see what we smell. Well, I definitely get the cinnamon and I guess like a nutmeg. And then I just get caramel. I don't know what you're really supposed to get on the nose versus the palate because it just says notes on the back. It doesn't say you know, whether it's on the nose or it's on your palate. Just want to give it another minute or two. I don't get any tea leaves on the nose, so maybe that's the palate. But I'm looking forward to trying a little bit of this one too, just to see what the differences are between them. I only brought one glass out here, so we're just going to use the same glass. I mean, right out the gate, I think I like the Connecticut a little better than this Maduro. You know? Certainly nothing wrong with this thing at all. I mean, it's really good, but I feel like the Connecticut was a little bit more smooth and kind of was just a nicer smoke so far. We'll see though. Retro spicy. A lot of spice. Spicy coffee and cocoa, chocolate. Okay, I got that fruit again there though. I wanted to smoke the cigar a little bit. You know, I want this to air out, but also want to smoke the cigar a little bit before I start drinking, because I had remembered somebody telling me that they got fruit on the cigar, and I am getting that. I got it on the cold draw, and then also now on the retro. Yeah, it's really nice. I don't know if that's from the barrel. You know, you would think if there was bourbon in that barrel, maybe if it was a bourbon of this. You know, these are both kind of, I would describe these as sort of fruity, although I haven't had this one, but this one's definitely fruity. Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely getting red fruit on this thing. Apple skin, something like that. Real mild, nothing sweet, but that ash is really nice. Perfect burn line. All right. Enough of the waiting game here. I'm spilling it before I drink it. Oh yeah, that's good stuff. And you're getting that tea leaf. They weren't kidding about that. Right away. You can actually smell it. Now that I drank it, now that it's in my mouth, I can smell it. Baking spice, mellow oak, tea leaves, and caramel. Baking spices, yeah. Tea leaves, yeah. And I don't even know about the caramel. Definitely not getting the oak on this thing. Well, I can tell you one thing right now before I talk about what I think about these as far as their values. Four Roses releases something like this, you know, at least where I live in Pennsylvania, something what I would consider kind of special, you know, for 48 bucks each. Their regular single barrel is 48 bucks. So I think that's a testament to them. They could clearly grab more money for these. If these were 58, I would still have bought them, you know, because I want to try them, because they're not readily available. They're limited edition, essentially. These are 2025s, both of them. Doesn't say that on them. Doesn't say it in here either. I looked in here earlier. It doesn't say the year. But, I mean, I'm assuming these are 2025. And I just think that's pretty cool of them. Because they could easily get more money for them. easily. Because people are always on the lookout for stuff like this. And my buddy was kicking himself because he knew Four Roses was good, single barrel, because he had drank it with me. And he went to pick up a bottle, and they had, I don't know which one they had, I don't know which designation they had, but he just bought the regular one with these sitting right there, or one of them sitting right there next to it for the same price. And I was like, why wouldn't you get something unique that you can't get all the time? And he was like, yeah, he's like, that makes more sense. It's just gonna blow away. He's like, that makes more sense. So props to them for offering or selling something, you know, and I don't know if it has something to do with Pennsylvania. I'm sure if you went somewhere that wasn't a state-run, you know, liquor store program, that these would have a markup. So, you know, right out the gate, I would say, and this one smells better. And this was the one I was really excited to get, the OESO, because of the rich red fruit. It just smells fruity. And I'm just, I've been on the sherry cask thing past couple months, and although this one you can really smell the tea leaves now. Ever since I put it in my mouth, I can smell it better. Well, I would say one thing's for sure, maybe two things, kind of the same thing, but two things for sure. It's great that they put these at the same price as their regular single barrel, and therefore I would say it's worth it to at least purchase them and try it, especially if you like their regular single barrel. I don't have a bottle of that right now to compare. I would have brought that out too. Yeah, my cigar palate's been changing, where I used to be a just diehard Maduro leaf fan, and now I'm switching a little bit more towards the Connecticut side. I don't know, maybe I'm just burned out on Maduros. Crazy thing about it though is I smoke a ton of both. I smoke very few sun-growns, but I smoke a ton of Connecticut and Maduros. And it just seems like when I'm doing these longer videos, when I'm actually really diving into it on camera, I mean, I think right now, you know, an inch and a half to whatever this is into this thing, I think if I could snap my fingers and turn this into the Connecticut, I think I would. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. Maybe I'm just getting sort of burned out. I'm smoking a lot of cigars the past year, you know, more than a year now, year and a half, 2 years, losing track, but I smoked a lot of cigars. Don't get me wrong, this is a fantastic cigar, especially for 12, 13 bucks. Yeah, fantastic. Oh, the ash fell. Well, at least it fell in the ashtray. That's a win. Well, I can already tell this is just getting better and better as it sits here. It's just going to keep getting better too. Should have brought out another glass so I could air that one out a little bit. Although, as you can tell, there's plenty of air in this bottle. So I'm sure pouring that right in the glass and taking a sip of it will be just fine. Have you guys had any of these, the Four Roses? What do you think? What do you think about them? I think this is their best offering, the single barrel. I think it's even better than their small, I think it's small batch select. I always forget because I never buy them. There's 4 kinds. There's their entry level, like 80 proof stuff, which is fine as a mixer. And then there's a small, I think it's small batch, which is a higher proof, maybe 90 something. And that's like, their entry level's like $30. Their small batch is like 35, 6. These are, then these jump to like 48. And then you've got your small batch select, which is what I think it is. And that one jumps up to like 65. So, and I'm not picking this one because of the money. I'm picking it because I actually like the single barrels a lot. This is what I really started drinking bourbon when I really got into bourbon. Somebody told me Four Roses is a nice easy sipper, for a beginner. And so I was buying bottles of single barrel like crazy. I loved them. Still do. These are two of my favorite things to smoke and drink. Okay, yeah, it's getting more complicated. That tea is moving to the background a little bit and giving forward to that caramel and baking spices. You get a lot of cinnamon, nutmeg, and caramel. Yeah. So I like to explain this to people because I get comments when I don't explain it. Like, explain things better, basically. So when you first put it, all right, let's do it like this. When you first put it in your mouth, you get hit with that, the cinnamon and the nutmeg, and then you get the tea on the middle of your mouth, which is like a tea leaf, not necessarily like a tea bag. You ever drink like a lip? You ever drink from a gas station on the plastic bottles you buy, and it has the tea leaves on it, the green leaves? It's like that. It's like real mild. You get the tea leaf, and then it finishes with like the caramel and a little bit of like spice, like a little bit of oak, like woody spice. It says mellow oak, but it's more. I'm getting like a little spiciness. All right, let's get some cigar in our mouth here. Oh yeah. If you watch my channel, if you watch any of these longer videos, the best thing is when you take a sip of bourbon and then take a puff on your cigar. It is so good. This is a Kentucky product, Lawrenceburg. It's aged distilled by them, so these guys are the real deal. I'm absolutely gonna, make a trip and get down to their facility in Kentucky one of these days. It's one of those bucket list things. No doubt, I'll be doing that someday. Yeah, special edition matured in bourbon barrels for 2 years. That's why it's a 12-year aged. 10 years bale aged. Dude, that's a long time. 10 years is a long time to be bale aged. That means they're keeping out, moisture from mold, which obviously they have the facilities to do that. Moisture, obviously the dreaded cigar mite, any other bugs or problem. I don't even know all the stuff that could possibly happen, but 10 years being baled together, that's a long time. It's a long time. So with whiskey, you're looking at, they always say this, and I don't know, it doesn't always hold true. I drank Dickel bourbon on my channel, and that is 8-year aged for $31. But typically, for bourbon, whiskey, it's $10 a year. So if you have a four-year, say it's a bottle and bond, 4 years, minimum is 4 years. That should be like a $40 bottle. If these are aged 7 to 9 years, you're looking at a $70 bottle, right? The cigar, 12 years, $1 a year. I mean, I think that's pretty reasonable, for sure. Now, this channel did start in a very budget-friendly way, smoking Tatianas and games and Dutch Masters and stuff. So compared to that, this is an expensive cigar, but not not compared to a lot of things you've seen on this channel. The Plasencia, it's a $20+ cigar. And I mean, if I'm getting my money out, I'm taking this. I'm taking a Perdomo, age 12 years for $12, and I'm taking this Four Roses for 48, no doubt, over a lot of stuff, over a lot of $50 bottles. I wish more companies would do that. I wish more companies would, like, they have their their standard single barrel. I wish more companies would do special releases of their single barrel. And I don't know the whole story behind that. I don't know if they just stumbled upon that. They went to make a single barrel and they were like, holy moly, this is super good. This is so much different than our regular single barrel. What's going on here? Is there more barrels like this? And they found a bunch and they decided to figure this whole thing out and bottle them differently. And there's, like I said, there's 3 different options. I don't know how that all works. I'm not a whiskey distiller. I wish I was, but I'm not. So I don't know how that works, but whew, yeah, this thing's getting good. Wow. Yeah, just like a load of baking spice, but I mean, that makes sense. So this one's front, front and center. Number 1 thing says baking spice, right? Their first notes, it says. And this one's first notes says rich red fruit. So, I mean, that makes sense that this guy here, I'm getting the baking spices, even on the nose. So I'm gonna pour this one in the glass in a minute and see what we get, if we get the rich red fruit right away. I remember my exploration of this one was really enjoyable, but I don't remember all the details of it. And shame on me, but I didn't go back and watch my video. I kind of like to stay fresh. I don't want to tarnish what I'm going to say by watching or knowing something else I said. I kind of just like to go off the cuff here. This is really great, getting great though. Whew. Wow, it hits just like I told you. It just hits baking spices. You're going, wait a minute, what's in my mouth? There's like cinnamon and nutmeg. You're like, what am I drinking? And then it like mellows itself out with tea, with that tea leaf, and then drops right into like a caramel waterfall down the back of your throat. Again, if I usually like to criticize something a little bit, so I mean, maybe this is a little thin, maybe. Maybe it's a little thin. I finish is strong though. It's still there. I almost don't want to give it up. I want to hit that cigar, but I want to let you know when it actually goes away. Just keep swallowing. It's still there. It really hangs on. Cigar smells so good. Yeah, it's hanging on for dear life. It's still there. It's still hanging in there. All right, so, I mean, maybe the viscosity's thin, but definitely not the finish. The finish is not weak at all. There's certain companies, when I explore their products, that I think, are grabbing at cash. And that's okay. This is America. You want to make a boatload of money, that's your prerogative. I bought it, I can't complain about people making money. But then there's other ones that I think Like, I think Perdomo could easily charge more for this cigar. And I know that the prices are going to be different for both of these no matter where you are. You know, we're talking about, I'm in Pennsylvania in the United States. But, you know, I think this cigar could be $20, $18, you know, more than 12 or 13, but wow, that's so tasty. You know, and same thing with this whiskey. I feel like these whiskeys could be, these, you know, these Four Roses could be more, could charge more for it. But I truly appreciate when a company goes, okay, we can sell this for 48, 50, you know, round it up $50, and still make good money, you know, and kind of give people something special, so to speak. I just really appreciate that. Oh boy, wow. Oh my, okay. You just get brown sugar and vanilla. And there's the fruit. That's an amazing, amazing nose. Whew. My. All right, that's it for a minute. If you've been here this long, you're gonna be here a little bit longer. Yeah. He calls it matured in bourbon barrels, and it says hand selected by Nick Perdomo. No offense, Nick. I respect you a lot, but you didn't hand select this cigar. Man, the retro on this thing is so spicy. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it has got some kick to it. It's hard to explain too, because it doesn't really burn my nose. It kind of burns my throat, which is weird. Let me try it again. Yeah, it's weird. It doesn't burn my throat. It just burns my nose. Or it doesn't burn my nose. It just burns my throat. All right, I can't wait anymore. Let's try this other one. The OESO. Although we've tried it before. It's just been months since I think I made the video on this one, the one we're gonna try, maybe 2 months ago, and obviously had more than, you know, a pour or two out of it since then. You can see the bottle. I wish. I've had friends though try it with me. You get about 12 pours the way I pour out of a bottle. So probably had 2 pours in my initial video. There's probably 2 pours left, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we might have had, there might be 7 pours out of there since then. 3 of which might have been me, probably less. Whenever a friend comes over, I let them try stuff like this. Let them just pick it off the shelf and give it a try. You know, something they had never had before. All right, here we go. My God. Well, I wasn't wrong for really, like, I tried to hunt that one and I found it. The ripe, it doesn't say ripe, but rich red fruit is just phenomenal. It's just all over this thing. Now I get it on the nose where I didn't in the beginning. I was only getting sugar and vanilla. Now I get the fruit right on the nose. I feel like I need to get myself a bottle of that OBSF now, which is the third one of those. Just to try the third one. I've never tried the third one. Wow. That is amazing. That is really good. All right, so far, hunt this one or look for this one, buy this one, whatever. This one's definitely good, but this one's definitely better. And in this one's defense, it hasn't opened up like this one did. You know, anybody that knows anything about whiskey knows that the neck pour of this one, not really a fair comparison to the opened up one of this one. So keep that in mind. But right now, gun to my head, I'm picking this one for sure. I hate to say that too, because I made the video based on this one, but this one's really good. All right, I'm gonna ash this because I don't want to drop it in my lap or on my table like I've done a million times. Pretty sure an epicure, that's what the size that Perdomo calls these. And it's not exclusive to Perdomo. There's other companies that make epicures. But pretty sure it's just a Toro. Don't know for sure, but I'd say it's like a 6 or a 6.5 by 56. It's pretty big gauge. Not exactly the smallest gauge I've ever smoked. It's pretty big. I'm not hating on it though. I don't mind it. Cigar band just comes right off. I'll show you this one time. It's really pretty. Raised lettering and the whole thing. Just like most of these companies do nowadays. It's not too windy. It was pretty windy earlier. As you guys know from watching this channel, the wind is pretty much the biggest enemy of Cigar Exploration USA headquarters. Second to that would be the noise. A cigar is tight, not tight draw, but like it's not squishy at all. Quality is good. See that? It's packed. It's full. It's supposed to be a premium cigar, so no excuse not to be. Yeah, just dark chocolate, coffee, some leather, some spice. I mean, nothing to complain about whatsoever. Absolutely nothing. It's good. I'm starting to get a little buzz. If you don't get a little buzz from smoking a third of a cigar and drinking a whiskey and a half, I'm just gonna leave it at there. Just leave it at that. Oh my God. Wow. Man, oh man. That is something else. Stealing the show, OESO. Stealing the show. Wow. That is something else, man. That is just, if you like sort of fruity whiskey, and I don't want anybody to get the wrong idea. There's nothing sweet, nothing. It is fruity for whiskey, but it's like a finished, whiskey, like a sherry cask, or if you put this in front of me without the bottle and you said, "What is this?" I would probably say it's a finished whiskey. I would probably say it's a sherry cask, or yeah, I would say this is something. I wouldn't guess this is just a regular whiskey out of a barrel. So who knows? I mean, these guys could be putting things in different kinds of barrels. I doubt it, though. They'd almost have to tell you, and they seem like a pretty honest company, so. Whew, man, that stuff. Whoa. Yeah, this is definitely my happy place right now. Got a great buzz going off the cigar and the whiskey. It's just great. It's like the perfect little medium happy little thing going on. I just can't believe this Perdomo hasn't changed at all. It's pretty much the same as it was when I started. Which, I mean, might be a good thing, you know? Sometimes cigars just get so harsh. I mean, I know I'm only into the second third. Cigars sometimes get so harsh when you get down to this part of the cigar, you know, the second half, or the, you know, even the last third. If you guys are liking this video, the next video I make, the next long video I make, you're gonna love that one. I got something special for you guys. Yeah, perfect draw. Sometimes these Perdomos are a little more open, and the stick burns a little quick. I don't remember exactly what point I lit this at. I think it was 5 minutes in, but this thing is burning like real nice and like not too slow, but slow, like the way you want it. Like I gotta really give it a good pull. Not too much, but you definitely got to pull on it in order to really get what you're looking for. Like we get a real deep, rich smoke out of it. But I like that. I'd rather it burn a little slower. So that was like one complaint about Perdomos, where they burned a little quicker than a lot of other cigars. But for the quality, I'll take it. I'll take it burning a little quicker. That's fine with me. This one's not doing that. This one's burning like real premium quality. I mean, the burn line is just phenomenal. I mean, look at that. I mean, just awesome. It's an awesome burn line. Going to my local cigar lounge for a Scotch event soon. So excited for it. You know, you'd think the guy that loves rye and bourbon would not be excited for Scotch, and I've explored Scotch on this channel before, and I was not a big fan of the Glenfiddich 15-year Scotch, and I'll let you know how the Scotch tasting goes, but it's supposedly really unique Scotches. I think they're from Aruba. So, and what I was told was, don't be discouraged, be excited, because they aren't your typical kind of smoky, peaty Scotches. They're going to be more on the lines of a bourbon, kind of a Scotch, if that makes any sense. You Scotch guys out there, leave me a comment. Let me know if I'm just a complete idiot or not. I'll let you know what I think when I actually do the tasting. But I'm super excited about it. And then later, like a month from now, I've got a bourbon tasting coming up. Scotch tasting is going to be a little tough to record. Anything that's worth watching. But I think for the bourbon, I think it's just bourbon. So I was invited by a new friend to go to this bourbon tasting that's like an hour away from me in Allentown, Pennsylvania. And it's like some exclusive thing where you know, it's by invite only. You can't just buy a ticket. You need to be invited. And this guy that I know, this new friend, he can only bring one person. And he's a fan of my channel. So he was like, oh, I want to take you. So I'm thinking that for that one, I'll be able to record a little bit. I'm hoping to at least get something out of that one. Although I'm tempted to just be selfish and just enjoy myself and not record anything. But I'm going to try. I'll try to record something. But I basically have 2 tastings coming up, which I'm really excited about. A Scotch and a Rubian. A Rubian? A Rubian? Is that how you'd say it? Yeah, it's got to be a Rubian. A Rubic? Not a Rubic. So I'm excited for that tasting, and then I'm excited for the bourbon tasting, and because he told me last time they were doing all kinds of stuff that I really would enjoy, like Eagle Rare and Blanton's and Buffalo Trace and all that good stuff. So in case anybody's curious, this V cut is holding up nice. I did get something in my mouth a couple minutes ago if you saw me spit it out, but it's not a big deal. V-cut's just really, really holding up solid right there. I was a little hesitant to V-cut this because it's not a box press cigar, but it was kind of shaped. It was kind of pressed a little bit, it looked like, whether it was on purpose or by accident. Yeah, I am feeling it. I am loving this. My feet aren't tingling yet. That's how I know. That's how I know I'm in trouble, when the feet start tingling. Whew, this stuff, my oh my. Wow, my God. Oh, and this just finished with the fruit. Whoa. Bourbon Bill, where are you at, man? Bourbon Bill is the king of the take a sip and just fall back in his chair like, oh. Bourbon Bill, where are you at on these 4 rows of single barrels? These special ones. Where are you at, man? You try these? These aren't good enough for you? What's up? Whew. Check out Bourbon Bill's channel on YouTube. He's awesome. He's an awesome dude. He really reviews some crazy stuff. Really good stuff. Man, that's ridiculous. All right, so to make a true comparison here, let's get a little bit of this in the glass. Try this out. Right, switch these guys up so you know what we're drinking. Whew. Yeah, back to the baking spice. I mean, the bottles don't lie. I get it. You know, kind of takes a little bit of the guesswork out for me. Oh my God, that's so good. So good together. Man, oh man. Whoa. Easy. Easy there, big guy. I'm trying to knock my table over. That would be a first. You don't want that to happen. Whew. Sun is really moving around this time of year. Being the fall, we know what's coming. Winter. Which means Cigar Exploration USA headquarters is going to be a different place. Still haven't moved to the format where I'm going to move things inside. I really like this outside sort of setup. Don't really want to move things indoors. But being in the Northeast, it's a little tough. It's going to be a little tough. Man, that cigar is just... Whew. Another piece in my mouth. Whoa. All right. Whoa, whoa. Hitting the table, dropping cigars, hitting ashtrays. Man, gotta relax, bro. Getting a little crazy over here. OESK. I really like you, but OESO, you're a little bit better. I can't lie. It's not my style. Man, it's good. It smells good, tastes good. Both these are great. Into the last third of that cigar. Guys, if you've been here this whole time, thank you for being here. Appreciate you hanging out with me. It's one of my favorite things to do is make videos like this. I love these long format videos. There's not a lot of people watching these, but if you're here, thank you. I appreciate it. It's great hanging out. I'm gonna smoke this last third. Cigar has maintained its sort of profile the whole time, and these whiskeys were both fantastic. I definitely think the OESO is a little better. I think both are worth it. I'm sure the other one, the OBSF, is worth it as well. If you can't find those, just pick up a bottle of Four Roses Single Barrel and enjoy it. It's really good. I don't think you'll be disappointed whatsoever. It's my opinion, my assessment, my exploration. Give me a comment. Let me know what you guys think, how you're feeling, what you're doing. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Cheers, everybody.